Young girls in Africa are trapped in poverty. The education they need to escape is beyond their reach. How can this desperate cycle be broken? I'm Alvin Hall. 25 years on Wall Street have taught me a lot about business. But now I'm on a new journey around the world, meeting a new breed of entrepreneur, more interested in doing good than making money. Social entrepreneurs. And I want to help. I'm flying over Zambia in southern Africa, continuing my exploration of the world of the social entrepreneur.
I'm on my way to Mpika to meet the founder of an organization named CAMFED. Its purpose, to provide educational opportunities for young girls born in poverty.
I know what that's like. I was brought up in a poor family in the deep south of the United States. Education was my escape. It's a subject that's very close to my heart. In sub-Saharan Africa, 24 million girls can't afford to go to school. It is particularly bad here in Mpika. It is one of the poorest areas in Zambia, which itself is one of the poorest countries in Africa. It's the start of the day at Musakenya Basic School in Mpika. Education is paid for by the government, but only up to grade 7 or about 13 years old. After that, parents must pay for all school fees, uniforms, and books themselves. It's not surprising that this is when children are most likely to drop out of school. Girls are most at risk. Right now, school attendance here is down a further 20% at a crucial time, exam season. The reason? It's also harvest time. Here are the missing girls, 20 kilometers outside of Mpika at this makeshift camp. People come from miles around to collect one of Zambia's national delicacies. There are a lot of school-age girls here. CAMFED's country director and former permanent secretary of the Ministry of Education, Barbara Chalangwa, shows me what the fuss is all about. Caterpillars.
Well,
Let's see. Oh my God, it's huge.
It is huge.
It's huge. No, you can put it in.
Yeah, just try to fit some.
Oh my God. And these young ladies harvest these. And how many of these buckets do they fill over the course of a day? Four. And how much do they make for each bucket?
About $4.
About $4.
Yes, $4.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
It's easy to see why these girls would choose to do this instead of school. It's good money, and it's money they desperately need.
All these don't have parents.
They don't have parents?
No.
It's amazing, isn't it? So they're really out here on their own.
They're on their own.
How many of you are taking off time from school to be here?
Yeah.
Everybody?
Yeah.
And you do this every year? Yes. Shouldn't you be in school learning?
Well, they want to make money, which they will then use to pay fees.
For school.
And buy school items like books.
It's clear these girls really want an education, but they're having to skip school to try to stay in school. Okay, you gonna show me how to do this? There's a real irony in this. Why do more girls than boys drop out of education? That's the question that Ann Cotton, founder of the Campaign for Female Education, wanted to answer when she came to Africa in 1991.
What I found was that the primary constraint was poverty. And the fact was, the reality was that boys had a much better chance of paid work in future. So this was the family security.
Ann started a discussion with the village chief she was visiting about why girls' education was equally important.
The chief called a meeting And people came from miles around. I mean, the passion and the desire for education really showed. And we sat in a community like this under a tree, and all day we discussed how the programme could work. And that's how the basic model of CAMFED was fashioned in the community, by my listening and learning.
In 1993, Anne started raising funds by baking and selling cakes. With the $3,000 she raised, she sponsored her first 32 girls. That number has grown to more than 500,000 children in 5 African countries. CAMFED's annual income was $11 million in 2008. But as it has grown, CAMFED's approach to empower local communities hasn't changed. It has just over 100 paid staff, but a network of more than 50,000 volunteers.
Well, this is a community development committee meeting from Mpika, and all the constituencies of the community have come together to discuss the progress of the CAMFED programme.
Oh, really?
Well, they're absolutely central to the CAMFED model. They're really the decision-making body at the local level.
CAMFED believes it gets a dramatic social and financial return on its investment.
When you educate a girl, everything does change. And you find that maternal mortality falls, that child mortality falls, you find HIV rates dropping. Everything improves with girls' education.
The town of Mpika is a tough place to grow up. It's a major junction on the Great North Road that runs from Cairo to Cape Town. Most people just want to pass through. The railway used to bring jobs, but now trains are few and far between. Times are hard, and for an uneducated girl, there are very few opportunities. Some sell what they can on the side of the road. Others sell themselves to truckers. 1 in 6 people in Zambia is HIV positive, and this is one of the worst affected places in the country. Education is vital. Educated girls are 3 times less likely to become HIV positive. But the pressure on poor girls to leave school and work to support their families is immense. Christine is a CAMFED girl. She's 15 years old, the eldest of 4 children. Her father died 3 years ago. Each morning, she gets up at daybreak to help her mother with the chores before starting her long walk to school. It hasn't been easy for her, and she's struggling to keep up with her schoolwork.
I have problems in school because I do not have time to study. Most of the time, my mother is away, so I have to do the housework. When the time comes for tests, I can't answer the questions because I do not know a lot about the subject.
To put food on the table, Christine's mother and grandmother are often away from home working the family's small plot of land. It's 18 kilometers from home, a full day's walk, so they're often away for a week or 2 at a time, leaving Christine to look after her younger brothers and sisters.
It's very hard to get by. If my mother doesn't sell anything at the market or gets something from the farm, then we have no food.
For poor families, long-term goals often give way to short-term needs. They need to survive to be able to feed themselves a day at a time. This is a cycle of poverty that's hard to break.
It hurts me to think of the way we live. It makes me think that if I could finish my education, I could find work and it would improve things for my family.
The reality is, if Christine can't stay in school, one day it will be her eldest child looking after her family while she's away helping her mother on the farm. The cycle would just continue.
When people in Zambia find out that I'm the oldest son in my family, they always ask me the same question. Or aren't you supporting your brothers and sisters? So, hearing that Christine is the oldest child in her family, there's a lot of pressure on her in the community, in the culture, to support her family. But what about getting a good education? Isn't that supporting the family too? That's a very big conflict going on within her.
You don't have to go far to see what difference an education can make. One of Mpika's first CAMFED graduates lives here in a house she built from scratch. It's one of the best houses in the area.
Hello, Gift.
Welcome.
Oh, thank you. It's so nice to meet you.
Gift Namachimba is 26.
I've heard so much about you. And look what you've done. So this house is beautiful. It's really beautiful. And it's all yours. I know. It's so good. So show me the rest of the house.